All right. Good Monday morning. This is Pod Bros.
Yes, it is.
And we have once again moved our little recording setup into another room of the house because why not?
Actually, I was going to ask you why.
Well, the answer is why not.
But why?
But why not?
But why?
But why not?
But why?
But why not?
It's just as echoey in here as it is in any other room.
Actually, it is. But this room is smaller and easier to foam. Which we are going to be doing later on today. So that tomorrow, it sounds a little better. We got some guests coming up. Don't know when they're going to be on yet, but we got some folks we're going to try and get on the air here with us, which will be super fun and exciting to do. Would like to thank everybody for listening. We're having a good time, enjoying doing this. I'm glad you guys are enjoying hearing it. To everybody who is a new subscriber, welcome. Thank you for putting us in your ears. To those of you that are with us from the beginning, I can't name you all, but we appreciate you being there. To our friend Ed. We're glad you listen, and we can't wait to have you on the show with us. And to our friend Casey, thank you for the ridiculous words. So, once again, we are Pod Bros. We're from northern Arizona. We're in the Quad City area here. This is it's actually more than Quad Cities, but it's a bunch of it's the main cities are Prescott Valley, Chino, Dewey, and Humboldt.
What do you mean it's more than 4 cities?
Well, there's Paulden.
Is Paulden a...
Paulden is an actual city.
They're an actual city that has filed papers with the state.
I thought so. I don't know.
They filed papers of incorporation with the state.
Are they not? Are they just a place?
Well, I guess we're going to find out.
Okay. Now. Well, we're searching on the Paulden part. I know that there's I don't know, maybe Walker. Walker's not a city. So maybe it is just the Quad Cities. So anyway, that being said, let's talk about some ridiculous stuff.
Did you tell them that this was Pod Bros?
I did.
A production of Sound Bros Productions?
I forgot the production of Sound Bros Productions because you normally say that. So.
Well, what the heck?
Well, now you said it, so now they know.
Did you tell them that we're on iTunes?
We are on iTunes. And soon to be on Spotify.
And
Google Play if we can get it to flipping work. So, I don't know why it's giving me so much trouble. It won't load the page that I needed to load, which is the issue that I'm having. So, anyway, that was a fun sound. So, the chair I'm currently sitting in doesn't know whether it wants to be a recliner or a regular chair. And so, it kind of sits with the reclining half out, which is awkward and ridiculous. So, that's currently what we're dealing with here. So, anyway. Do you have any good stories over there yet, or are we searching on whether or not
I'm still
Paulden
looking
is a
up
place?
Paulden to see if it's actually a place or not, if it's just an area that's called Paulden that isn't actually anything.
Indeed. So, what we're going to do then, in that case, is I'm going to look something up here. Oh, wow. Dead space. We've got dead space.
Yep. Lots of dead space.
Lots of dead... Well, mainly because I had connected my Wi-Fi to the soundboard so that I could control my my audio in my ears, but then I can't use my phone to do the internet searching, and I don't have my iPad, so that brings up that point. Oh, did you see the new meme? About a husband and wife that are doing a crossword puzzle?
No, I didn't.
You can ask these questions. Programs for mobile devices, and it's 4 letters long.
An app?
Apps. Good. Okay, so an adolescent, 4 letters long.
Teen?
Yes. Contraction meaning failed to perform, 5 letters long.
Contraction meaning... Say it again?
Contraction meaning failed to perform, 5 letters long.
Didn't?
Didn't, yep. Take a life, 4 letters long.
Kill?
Yep. Religious songs, but it would be 5 letters long. Would be the old term for religious songs.
Hymns?
Hymns, yep.
I think they still use hymns.
Do they?
I think people still call things hymns.
And Santa's Little Helper, 3 letters long.
Elf.
So if we put all those together, Epstein didn't kill himself. That is our daily Epstein didn't kill himself. Just a reminder that the folks that have been elected into office are a bunch of lying poop bags.
Poop bag.
And they suck. So, but whatever. This is your daily reminder from Pod Bros to check very carefully who you vote for and what you believe. So there was unclaimed property to be auctioned off by the Arizona Department of Revenue. So the Arizona Department of Revenue will hold a public auction of unclaimed property from abandoned safe deposit boxes. Friday, December 6th. The sale will take place from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Sierra Auction, wherever Sierra Auction is. The auction featured thousands of items that have not been claimed for many years, including 10-ounce gold bars, collectible U.S. currency, diamond rings, necklaces, as well as precious stone jewelry sets and other unique items. Proceeds from items sold from the auction are transferred to the custodial account, where the funds will remain for 35 years until the rightful owners can claim. Assets from abandoned safe deposit boxes make up a portion of unclaimed money the Arizona Department of Revenue safeguards until the funds can be returned to claimants. So what is how do you abandon a safe deposit box?
I was just gonna say
I thought the whole point of a safe deposit box was you put it in there and it stays there permanently.
Yeah, I thought that was the point. I mean, that would be pretty jacked up if I put a bar of gold in a safety deposit box
in the 50s
and came back to get it or put it in my will.
Right, that it goes to so and so.
That it goes to so and so, and they come to get it 80 years later when I'm dead. And
this was abandoned.
It was abandoned, so he sold it for what gold was worth at that time. Now gold is worth way more. You're totally, shoinked out of your inheritance.
Yeah,
that's kind of jacked up, I think.
That's ridiculous. Oh, here's an interesting story for you. Arizona man registers bees as emotional support animals. Okay. So this is it.
Are they the bee's knees?
So he did it for a reason. This is good. An Arizona man's emotional support animal is creating quite a buzz.
Ah, that's clever.
Right? Prescott Valley, Arizona resident David Keller thinks the application process to register an emotional support animal is too easy. So he tried registering a swarm of bees as his service pet. And it worked. A lot of people thought it was hilarious, and a lot of people were getting upset, Keller told CBS affiliate WTRF-TV. He recently went on the website called azservicedogregistration.com and successfully uploaded a random photo of a beehive as a service animal to bring awareness to the issue that anyone can do this, he explains. Keller was inspired to go through with this registration after seeing a service dog that was visibly untrained. I can very easily tell that it was not a service animal because it was pulling the owner to the parking lot, and I was thinking that it was just too easy to get these animals to be service animals. The website he used to register his swarm is one of many that make the application process for emotional pets too easy, experts say. So now it goes from one guy who thinks it's too easy to experts say. So, fake news.
The expert part? Or his part.
So, Paulden, is it a city or a town?
Paulden is an unincorporated area of Yavapai County.
Oh, so it's not a city.
So ha!
Okay.
All right.
We should do news in another city. Like, what other fun cities are there? Pick a random city.
Okay. You want me to just pick a random city and look up news for it?
No, I got the news. Bozeman, Montana.
Okay.
Do you want to do the weather?
I have the weather up right now.
Okay, weather is your thing.
You want me to do the weather?
You do the weather, and then I'm going to do the weather in Bozeman, Montana.
Okay. Well, right now it's 42 degrees, mostly cloudy, 88% humidity. There are isolated showers for today. And then this weather we'll be getting is supposed to clear up for the most part. We'll get a little bit more clouds on Wednesday, and then it looks like the long-term forecast is saying that it'll all clear up and go away, and we'll get highs in the 50s again.
Okay.
In the upper 50s, I mean, not the... We're in the 50s right now, but the lower 50s. Right now, we'll be getting weather in the upper 50s, so... That's the weather. You want to tell the weather about Bozeman, Montana?
Yeah, so the weather in Bozeman, Montana right now is... Come on. There we go. 19 degrees.
Ugh.
Yeah. And it looks like it's clear, because all it's showing me is a little sun thing, and it's not telling me anything else, so... headlines. We could do headlines in Bozeman.
Okay.
Oh, this is not a Bozeman headline. This is a world headline. Are you ready?
Okay.
Russia is hit with a 4-year Olympics ban for falsifying doping data. Russia will miss next year's Tokyo Olympics and the 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics after the World Anti-Doping Agency on Monday banned the powerhouse from global sporting events for 4 years over manipulating doping data. WADA's, which is that doping company, whatever they are, World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA, executive committee meeting in Louisiana, Lausanne, Switzerland. Anyway, it was in Switzerland. Decided that Russia be handed the 4-year suspension after accusing Moscow of falsifying laboratory doping data handed over to investigators earlier this year. Not only will Russia be ruled out of the next Olympic cycle, but Russia's government officials will be barred from attending any major events, while the country will lose the right to host or even bid for tournaments. Wow. They have a lot of... This WADA company has a lot of power. WADA's executive committee approved unanimously to assert a non-compliance on the Russian anti-doping agency for a period of 4 years. This spokesman said. Under the sanctions, Russia's sportsmen and women will still be allowed to compete at the Olympics next year, but only if they can demonstrate that they are not part of what WADA believes was a state-sponsored system of doping. They are going to have to prove they had nothing to do with the non-compliance, that they were not involved in the doping schemes as described by the McLaren report, and they did not have their samples affected by the manipulation. The independent report by Richard McLaren, released in 2016, revealed that the significant extent of state-sponsored doping in Russia, notably between 2011 and 2015, it led to the Russian anti-doping agency being suspended for nearly 3 years previously over revelations of a vast state-supported doping program. Full disclosure of the data from Moscow laboratory was a key condition of Russia's controversial reinstatement by WADA in September 2018. The WADA decision was widely predicted, with the body's president, Craig Reedy, having made a presentation Saturday to the Olympic Summit, participants of which strongly condemned those responsible for the manipulation of the data from the Moscow laboratory. It was agreed that this was an attack on sport, and that these actions should lead to the toughest sanctions against those responsible, the IOC said. The IOC said in a statement. It was stressed by the participants that full justice must be finally done so that the guilty ones can be properly punished and the innocent ones are fully protected. The IOC, or International Olympic Committee, asked that Russian authorities deliver the fully authenticated raw data. A majority of WADA's influential athlete committee has called overnight for a complete ban on Russian participation, with 9 members of the 17-strong group saying such a move was the only meaningful sanction. We maintain that the fraud, manipulation, and deception revealed to date will only be encouraged and perpetrated by a lesser response. So, anyway, Russia responded to the ban against the country was a result of anti-Russia hysteria and should be appealed.
That sounds like something Russia would do.
Yeah. And then, of course, their response is, this is anti-Russia.
Well, yeah, that's typical.
So,
typical crap.
All right, so I've got one that's going to hit you right in the childhood feels. Are you ready?
Okay, I guess.
The actor, darn it, where did it go? It was just here. There it is. Carol Spiney,
Okay.
the puppeteer behind Big Bird and Oscar the Grouch,
Yeah.
has passed away.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's sad.
He was 85.
It was 85?
He was 85.
You just said it was
I
85.
didn't say it. I said he.
Well, it sounded like you said it, so.
No, he was 85. You're full of it.
He?
You're full of he. All right. And I'm looking through the news here, and what does it do?
It gives you an ad?
Yeah, it's just garbage.
That's the worst. No,
Ooh,
that
this
is the
is
worst.
fun.
The worst is the ad.
You know what?
I hate ads.
know.
I'm just going to talk about this.
Yeah,
for a
let's
minute.
talk about ads.
We're talking about ads for a minute. Have you ever been on a website? You're surfing through the internet, just hanging out. You do that sometimes.
Yeah.
And you're like, a story grabs your attention. It's some stupid. It's a stupid story, but it was worded in just the right way, or the picture was just right, or whatever it was. And you're like, all right, they got me hooked. I'm going to click on this and read the story. You click on it, it goes to the website that the story is on, and it takes you 10 minutes to get through all of the stupid ads and all of the stuff that's on the sides, and there's a video, and it's got a 30-second ad for the 10-second video. By the time you actually get to the story, you're like, I'm not even interested anymore. I just want to go do something else. This is stupid.
Yeah, it's garbage.
I don't understand why. I've taken a lot of advertising. I've taken a lot of business and advertising type classes in high school and college.
Right.
And one of the things that they talk about all the time, or at least they used to talk about all the time, is that when you're advertising, you want your advertising to be appealing, you want it to be fun, and you don't want it to be a nuisance.
Well, YouTube has taken that to an unhealthy level.
I mean,
I'm just using YouTube on that, but because it's become a money thing.
Well, and that's the issue.
They want the money for not advertising, so they pump ads at a level that just makes you hate ads.
Well,
and so I pay for the monthly subscription to not have ads.
But for me, if I was an advertising agency, I would never ever advertise on there.
Right.
And the reason I never advertised on there was because the places that advertise on there, I think of them poorly.
Correct.
Because
they're annoying.
They interrupted my video.
They're a nuisance.
Because a 5-second video before the video is not a big deal. But a 2-minute ad
that I can't skip.
Yeah.
Or a 30-second video that I can't skip.
This is my favorite one they've started doing now. Is you click on an ad, because I don't pay for anything ever. I don't care. I just don't pay for things. I'll just mute it.
Continue.
But so you have an ad. So you're watching something, and an ad plays at the beginning of the video. And so this is the other thing. So this is that intriguing thing I was talking about, where something intrigues you.
Right.
So the ad that plays before the video, which is a 2-minute ad that can be skipped after 5 seconds, is something you want to watch because it's a preview for a movie or a new TV show or something. So you watch it
and forget what you were watching.
No. That's not where I'm going with this at all.
Okay.
Because you're on YouTube and you're watching a video.
Right.
So you watch the 2-minute ad, right?
Indeed.
And then when the ad is done, you press the skip button and it plays another ad before your video.
Yeah.
It's like, I just watched an ad for 2 minutes. You got your money. And now you're going to give me another freaking ad?
That's annoying.
Ugh, gosh.
That is annoying. Can I rant for a minute? Since you just ranted on ads?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to rant about Christmas.
Okay.
In a good way.
A Christmas rant?
Yes, a Christmas rant. Okay, so to the Methodist Church in California, you people suck. Okay? I hope that's clear. A Methodist church in California has unveiled a nativity scene depicting Jesus, Mary, and Joseph as refugees in cages. Yes, you heard me correctly. They have Jesus in the manger in a cage, and then Joseph and Mary separated on separate cages. On either side of the manger.
And what is there? I'm trying to draw some logic out of this. What's the reasoning? What's their?
So I'm going to read it.
What's their logical?
So the Reverend Karen Clark Royston.
Okay.
That's an issue in the first place. Mm-hmm. Who says she was stirred to tears by the depiction. Says the church uses its annual nativity scene to tackle a social issue, a societal issue, such as the homeless population in Southern California. In a statement posted on Facebook, Raston recounted the Bible story of Jesus, Joseph, and Mary. She then asked, what if this family sought refuge in our country today? Good grief.
Okay, so first, let me just...
Yeah, let's break this apart.
Break this down a little bit, okay? So, we'll talk about the homeless people in Southern California in a minute. But let's talk about Mary and Joseph, okay? So Mary and Joseph are, for lack of a better word, they are citizens of Israel.
Correct.
Ancient Palestine, right? They live in Nazareth, which is in southern Israel.
Yep.
They travel, technically speaking, they travel north.
Correct.
If you understand the topography.
And they were, and let me throw this in real quick. They were not refugees.
Well, and this is what I'm getting at, is that not only did they travel north to Bethlehem, they were ordered to by the government. The occupying government, I'm going to go there, gave them permission to travel
right
from Nazareth to Bethlehem.
Correct.
Okay? So we're going to, all right? So, when they get to Bethlehem, there's no wall. There's no border patrol. They're not illegal aliens.
Right.
They are supposed to be there. It is the place of their birth. There's just no rooms.
Correct.
So, now let's talk about the homeless population.
Okay, hang on.
No.
Okay.
I want to bring this logical progression here. So, who are the homeless people in Southern California? This massive homeless population.
They're the people that want to be homeless.
No. I'm talking about the homeless people that they're talking about, because they're talking about refugees, right?
Oh, yeah, the illegal aliens that keep coming across
that
the
are
border?
living in sanctuary cities in California. And let's just be clear for a minute. There's plenty of room for everyone. We've mentioned this before on previous podcasts. We love immigrants. We love people from other countries. We want you to come here. We want you to become an immigrant. We want you to become a citizen.
We want you here.
We want you here.
You belong here.
But Do not try to guilt me about these people that have come here illegally, that you are now illegally protecting them because you're a sanctuary city. And you're so concerned about them that you're letting them squat in your public areas.
And poop on the street.
And you're not actually doing what needs to be done to get them, take care of them. Don't try to guilt me because I don't want them to come into my country illegally. Take care of the issue.
Absolutely.
You know who the homeless people that live in this area? You know the majority of the homeless people that live in this area?
Around here where we
live actually like being homeless.
Yeah.
And the people that are homeless around here that don't like being homeless,
find jobs and get out of it.
Find a homeless shelter that we have and find a place to live and get a job. And the homeless shelters around here, which we have multiple homeless shelters around here, actually have programs that help people get jobs so that they can not be homeless anymore. So if they want it. So to that I say, to this whole situation I say, over here in Arizona, we're not just blowing smoke here about this whole situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're doing our part.
Yeah.
Hey, come into the country, get your stuff together, or if you're homeless, if you're legitimately, you lose your. There's crazy stuff that happens. People that are in debt.
Yeah.
I could totally.
You lose your house and you're stuck. It's how it goes. I can
see someone losing their job, losing their situation. Right. They lose their job. Their house forecloses. They're literally out on the street with nothing. We have homeless shelters in place. We have welfare programs in place that we pay taxes for.
Yep.
We have private shelters in place that people donate their money to. We have churches. The church I go to collects money for the poor and needy every year.
So does the church I go to.
We have an in-gathering service. We just had it a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
Where we literally collect hundreds of dollars of food, turkeys and hams and cans of groceries and tons of food that we then give to the poor and needy on Thanksgiving.
And it's awesome.
It's like this whole trying to guilt this. That's what this is. It's a guilt trip.
Yeah.
You're trying to run a guilt trip, and it's instead of making me feel guilty, it's offending me.
Well, and the problem that I have with it is that they're trying to use biblical. So what she talked about is she says, that Joseph and Mary and Jesus had to flee from Bethlehem to Nazareth.
To Egypt.
From Nazareth to Egypt to escape King Herod.
No. From Bethlehem to Egypt.
It was from Bethlehem? They went directly from Bethlehem? They were there for a couple of years?
They were there for probably 2 years.
2 years? And then
according to the book of Matthew, which has the wise men story in it.
Right.
When the wise men showed up and talked to Herod, he asked them, at what point did the star appear? And they said about 2 years. And that's why he killed everyone under the age of 2.
That's right.
Because the thought is that Jesus was 2 years old when the wise men showed up, which is why the image of the nativity with the wise men is incorrect. But that's neither here nor there. So he would have been 2 years old. They would have had a house.
So they fled to Egypt.
That's okay, go ahead.
And sought refuge in Egypt.
Okay.
And to that I say again, Egypt was still under the occupying force, if I'm not mistaken,
absolutely.
of Rome, because Rome owned the world at that point. No. Yeah. So not only did they they were not refugees in Bethlehem, they were not refugees in Egypt. And so at that point, your argument is moot.
Also,
especially using Jesus for that.
Also, let's go one step further, because, and I know that God did this on purpose, because God has a plan in everything, and He doesn't do things halfway, and He's not going to leave His Son out to dry.
Correct.
What did the wise men bring them? I think He brought
gold.
them gold, frankincense, and myrrh.
Yep.
Just the gold all by itself if you were to have, let's say, a chest of gold that was 1 foot by 1 foot by 6 inches.
Which is believed to be the size that they brought.
Maybe. Who knows how much they brought? You're talking about a gift for a king. They might have brought 10 of those. Who knows?
Right.
But just one of those, packed full of gold coins.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money when a gold coin, something like that, when they brought gold, it was probably like a denarii, year's wages. So a chest full of a year's wages. They could have lived there with very little issue at all, just on the gold. Not to mention if you sold the frankincense and the myrrh.
Which means that even if they were refugees, they came in, paid their taxes, and were legally living in the city.
Correct. Wherever they were living in Egypt.
Yes.
So,
are we at the bottom of the hour?
We are at the bottom of the hour.
So, pardon our rant, but enough of this garbage. These people and their false narrative about families being separated in garbage crap.
Well, families are being separated.
They are. But not in the way that we think.
Well, and the issue is very simple. Is that, I mean, it's not simple. It is a very complicated issue. Don't get me wrong. But the fact of the matter is these families are being separated because the kids are not, they're not the criminals. The children are not the criminals. The adults who are breaking the law by crossing the border are criminals.
Right, and that's the thing that we're missing here is that these people are breaking the law.
And
I am the law.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah, right. Thank you, Sylvester Stallone. No, the issue with this whole immigration issue is it's not even, you know what? I'm gonna even go this far. It's not even the parents that are crossing the border that are breaking the law.
No,
the issue is that we have spent all of this time over the last 40 years making it impossible to come to the United States.
And if you do come here illegally, making that the better way to come.
Yeah, we have made it.
Because the way the current system is right now, I'll tell you honestly, I'm an honest person. But the way the current system is right now, if I was in another country, there's no way I'd be able to come here legally. Mm-hmm. I would have to come here illegally, get on assistance programs to live. Until I found a job.
Or come here illegally and have some family here who knows someone who I can work for them.
Under the table.
And it's like the entire system has been modified to make that the way to work.
Yeah.
To make it the best way to do things. So, bottom of the hour. Actually, we're past the bottom of the hour now, but that's all right.
Yeah. So, we are
Pod Bros.
Pod Bros.
Sound Bros Productions production.
Podcast. We are, we're going to be doing another podcast, probably either as a side to this podcast, or as a separate podcast altogether. We're going to do a daily devotional reading of the Bible, just for something, something good and wholesome, and then stuff like that. So, also we do audio book readings. So, if there's a book that you would like to have read, and have the audio for yourself, so that you can listen to a book on recording, instead of having to read it yourself, let us know, and we'll add that into the repertoire and do a reading of it. And that, of course, with the way books are, we have to make sure that we're within copyright and all that fun stuff. I do know that recording, I think, just for private, for free, is going to probably be legal. So, also drop us a line. Let us know if the audio on the podcast is loud enough for you. I know that I've been checking through and trying to make sure that we have the right level of audio. But that's, one of those things that we got to check on a regular basis. Anyway, so this last week, Saturday, how was the Puppet Christmas Carol?
It was pretty good.
Right on.
It obviously wasn't the Muppets, but it was good. They did a good job. The guy who ran the whole thing is a master puppeteer. He's been doing it for
20 years.
Longer than that.
Yeah, I mean, we were, I think, 12 when he started. Mm-hmm. So he's my age.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, probably more. Yeah, maybe
just slightly over 20 years or
20
so.
Over 20 years plus.
20 years
but,
plus.
I mean, it was a good production. Good message, Christian message. How was the courthouse lighting?
The courthouse lighting was incredible. I mean, it was rainy. It was just that. It was just. It wasn't super cold, but it was just
raining on Saturday night.
It was rainy. Yeah, it was raining on Saturday night, which means that you called it.
I did. So, anyway, continue.
Yeah, it was nice. It was very nice. Got to walk around, ran into some folks that I knew, and had a good time. It was a lot of fun. It was very nice.
Did you go to the parade of lights on Friday?
I did not.
So I didn't either. However, I did have a job at 2 a.m. on Saturday morning.
Right.
And I drove past the Prescott Valley Civic Center.
Ah, yes.
And it actually looked pretty cool.
Yeah?
Yeah,
they're doing it pretty nice.
They got some pretty epic Christmas decoration. I mean, I drove past, and in the past it's been like, okay, good attempt, guys.
Yeah.
But in recent years they've gotten better and better, and this year I think they really did a good job.
Awesome.
They have, of course, they have their giant. There's not a lot of trees around the Civic Center because it's fairly new.
Yeah.
The Prescott
Courthouse
has the advantage of being there for
100 years,
100 plus years.
100 plus years.
Those trees are over 100 years old.
Some of them, yeah.
Some of them are. So it's like, you get these giant trees to decorate. It's kind of convenient.
Yeah.
So they have a big fake tree.
Nice.
That's they string it to the top of the building down to the grass.
That's right.
And it's just a bunch of string, but it looks like a big Christmas tree. It's pretty cool.
That is cool.
I think the only thing that my only criticism would be that the library, which is the most gaudiest, ghettoest looking building I've ever seen in my life, needed more lights on it.
Yeah.
Needed way more Christmas decorations on it. All they did was line the edge of it with lights. It was dumb.
I'm hearing strange noises. Is that outside?
Yeah, it's just the road, probably.
Oh, jeez.
Anyway, so
yeah, I did. I did last night. I did have the opportunity to drive through the Valley of Lights.
Ooh, how was that?
Prescott Valley. That was good. A little frustrating. I drive a manual stick shift, and people don't give you any room. And so it was pretty much bumper to bumper driving through there. Yeah, it was kind of a bummer.
I haven't actually gone through
the people on my butt. I have a few choice words for you. Enjoy the lights and get off my tail. It's like, seriously.
I actually haven't gone through in a couple of years, primarily because of the traffic.
Yeah. It was kind of rough, but I did have a good time. Listened to some Christmas music, had a good conversation. So
how late did they go?
I don't know. I think they go pretty late.
Because I think maybe if I went like later in the evening, maybe
towards the end of it,
maybe like 10 or 11 at night or something like that.
Yeah,
it might be a little bit better where less people are driving through there. Especially on a Sunday night.
Yeah.
You went through on a Sunday night. Everybody's going to be driving. They probably were bumper to bumper the whole time.
Yeah, and we gave them a little donation.
Good.
Because I like the Valley of Lights. I think it's a pretty good idea and a good thing to do. So,
well, don't they? Isn't there a?
It's a pretty cool one. They have a giant flag in there that lights up.
With the Valley of Lights, I remember in the years past there's been a best decorated house in Prescott Valley.
Oh,
is that still a thing?
I think so. I've been seeing some stuff on Facebook about voting for like Prescott Valley
like the area.
It might be each city. I don't know.
Because I think it'd be cool if there was like you had one for each area, one for Prescott, one for Prescott Valley, one for Chino, one for Dewey Humboldt, and then you had the best of the Quad City area.
Yeah, definitely. That would be cool.
Because there is definitely some.
There's some seriously nicely.
There are some people who do not hold back. They take out all the stops when it comes to Christmas decorations.
You know what? I saw one on Facebook where they give the address and you can drive by and tune your radio to the music.
Yeah. There's that one in Prescott.
Yeah, I don't know where it is though.
The
I can't
one in
remember which one
Prescott
it is.
is it's on what is that road? What is Whiskey Row? What is that street?
Montezuma.
Montezuma. It's on Montezuma down past right before you get to the Maverick light, the light where Maverick is.
Oh, it's turned into.
What is it? What is that street by then?
Oh, it turns
All of
into,
the for all of those who don't live in the Prescott area, there's several streets
that are all one road, but
that are
they
all one
change
road,
names throughout the road.
Yeah, there's one road that has I think 3 or 4 different names depending on where you are.
It's the road that turns into Iron Springs Road.
Yeah, it's the one that turns into Iron Springs, but it's right there. It's right past that turn where the what is that medical office is? That's right there.
Oh yeah.
And it's just up the street, and they actually have a sign outside that tells you the radio station to tune to. And theirs is like a massive array of lights.
That's cool, and it's all timed. And...
Yeah, and what's cool is that now in the 21st century we have LEDs, and so you're not spending a fortune on
the power. Yeah, which we discussed last week about how horrible a racket and monopoly the power is.
Yes, indeed.
But that is neither here nor there. So that being said, this is my favorite week. You want to know why?
Is it because there's going to be pictures with Santa?
There's pictures with Santa?
On Friday during Acker night.
Really? Where at?
At the 180?
At 422 West Gurley Street?
Yeah.
Hey, I think, do we know that Santa guy?
I think we do.
So, Santa, he's a great guy.
He is a very jolly fellow.
He is a very jolly fellow. We kind of, I would say I love him.
Yeah.
I love him a lot.
You do.
Yeah. Do you?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Mrs. Claus especially.
Yeah, she's nice.
Yeah, I like Mrs. Claus. If you haven't gathered by this point, our dad's the Santa Claus.
Yes, indeed.
And so, and we love it. He's awesome. The pictures with Santa are fantastic. And they are free, I believe.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think they're free. And once again, refreshment, hot chocolate, all that fun stuff. So definitely come down.
And then, of course, there's the Acker.
During the Acker night, yeah.
Acker,
so they're going to have music and everything,
showcase.
too. Musical showcase, actually.
The musical showcase.
Yeah, so Sound Bros Productions will definitely be down there.
We will not be sound broing at all. We'll just be kind of...
Yeah, I'm actually going to be roaming.
Yeah, we'll probably just
be down sound there. Roaming.
We'll just be probably down there just hanging out. Enjoying the music.
Hanging out.
Enjoying the lights from
and chocolate and...
From the...
cocoa and whatnot.
The Prescott Courthouse.
Indeed.
Because it looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, it does.
It really does.
It does. And when they light it up, it was definitely a blast when they lit it up. So
anyway,
so that's Acker coming up, and then of course in what 2-3 weeks? Wait, 2 weeks or 3 weeks? I think it's 2 weeks.
2 weeks, I think. Yeah.
So it's not this week; it's next week.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Yes, I think so.
Christmas is next week. Good grief! What have I done?
Is it?
No, I think it's 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I'm looking at a calendar. Hang on a second. Hold that thought. Oh, my calendar app.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. All right. And in 2 weeks, we have Christmas. You know what I'm going to ask? I need gift ideas.
Actually, no, correction. Technically, it's 2.5 weeks because we're at the beginning of this week still.
Oh, that's true. Okay, so this week, next week, and then the week after.
Yes.
Nice. So I need gift ideas. If you guys have ideas for gifts, drop us a line on Facebook. Let us know.
Sweet.
And
okay, sorry.
And then we'll...
I was concerned about not getting paid before Christmas. That's all.
Oh, nice. And let us know, and we'll and help me out. Help me find gifts for people. I need gifts for people.
Gift ideas, yes.
Gift ideas for people. So here's something cool: a magical Cirque Christmas. Have you heard of that? It's like a offshoot from the Cirque du Soleil, I guess.
Okay.
And they're doing they do a Christmas show.
Okay.
So it's all the acrobatics and all that fun stuff. But it's a Christmas show, and it's the 28th of December at the Findlay Toyota Center in Prescott Valley.
Cool.
So that's going to be pretty cool.
Is Mannheim Steamroller playing this year, or did they already play?
Mannheim. I'm not seeing it.
Oh, sad.
Yeah.
Sad face. They're one of my favorite musical groups, and their Christmas music is phenomenal.
Yeah. Well, Yavapai College has got a bunch of stuff coming up.
Christmas stuff?
Yeah, it looks like it. Let's see what we got here. We've got Yavapai by College, the Met Live in HD.
So, yeah, that's right.
December 11th. That is in 2 days.
Yep.
At 1 p.m. They've got a very electric Christmas, the 12th, at 7 p.m. They've got the Met Live again, January 11th. Oh, and then the Price is Right live.
Oh,
It's coming January 17th. And so I think we might get tickets for that and be Sound Bros there. So Rhythm of Dance is coming the 22nd of February. There's a bunch of stuff coming up at Yavapai.
Yeah, but that's not Christmas stuff, though.
Yeah, that's not Christmas stuff. We've moved past that. So
we're talking mostly about Christmas stuff.
mostly Christmas.
Well,
Only
and
Christmas.
while we're talking about Christmas, there's also the New Year's stuff.
Right. Well, Christmas and New Year's.
Well, and we can talk about some of the New Year's stuff, right?
I just did. That's it. There's nothing else.
So
It's
I
all-
mean,
it's it. It's over. It's done.
no, we can talk about New Year's
No,
stuff.
it's done. It's
no,
over.
we can.
No, it's
we
over.
didn't talk about New Year's stuff yet.
No, it's done.
No, we haven't talked about New Year's stuff yet.
Okay, let's talk about New Year's stuff.
Okay, so in Prescott, at the courthouse, they do a boot drop.
Oh yes, instead of a ball drop, which is the New York City thing,
Yes.
they do a boot drop.
Because this is the Wild West,
Yes.
home of the oldest rodeo.
Yes, and so they do a big boot drop on Whiskey Row. It's said to be a pretty wild time.
Did they still do the 10 o'clock boot drop for all the old people?
I don't know. I didn't know
Because they used to do that for
I
a
didn't
long
know
time.
that was a thing.
They actually did it for a really long time because 10 o'clock is when New York does their boot drop, I think, is how was their logic.
So they do it. They line it up with that one, so it's at the same time.
So that all the old people can go to bed. And then they do the midnight boot drop. But I think they might just do the midnight boot drop now because people were like, this is dumb to do 2 boot drops. Let's just do
our
one.
midnight our midnight is the real midnight anyway. So
It's true because our time never changes.
correct.
So, it's actually pretty cool. I actually, previously, before we started doing Sound Bros, worked for another sound company in town. And helped them do the setup and teardown for the boot drop. And was there and got to see the boot drop. I wasn't actually there for the show because I had to go to church. Because it was Sunday.
Right.
That they did it. And church is more important than anything else. Even though the guy actually, the owner actually offered to pay me to stay there for the whole thing.
Right.
But church is more important. So
Indeed.
anyway, I went back and actually got there. Oh gosh, that's fun. Don't mind me.
Thank you. This interruption brought to you by Sound Bros Productions Nick.
By a
Random number that you don't know.
Yep, probably
A spam call.
a spam call. Well, if it's not a spam call, they'll leave me a message. So that's the convenient way of doing things. Anyway, the boot drop was pretty cool. I got there just in time for the boot they counted down. I was actually there. I got there just in time to hear the countdown. Everybody cheered. And the little boot, they have like this big LED boot thing that drops. And then they did this pretty sweet firework display from the top of our parking garage behind the...
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was pretty legit. I will say, though, fireworks need to be out in the open. Inside the middle of a town, it's like, you have to, like... I think they had to, like, shoot them at the right angle so that everybody could see them. But...
Yeah. Boy, there's craziness going on.
Although,
So did you hear about the Go ahead.
The other firework display that they did downtown, which was for the 100th anniversary of Arizona back in 2014,
was pretty awesome.
they did it from the 4 quarters of the courthouse square.
Yeah.
And it was probably one of the coolest firework displays I've ever seen.
Yeah. It was pretty legit.
They did
so.
they did a good job. Anyway, go ahead.
So the head of DPS was stopped for speeding,
Solid.
and it's causing a stir. There's video of it, and so I'm not going to actually play the video
Because no one can see it.
because nobody can see it. So, but the
Yes.
there was also the stuff going on in the world right now is ridiculous. These people that have no, I got stopped for speeding the other day myself.
yeah. What happened
So I
with
got pulled
that?
over. So coming back into Chino, I was breaking the law and speeding and got pulled over. I've heard a lot about how people have bad instances with police officers. I don't have bad instances with police officers.
Not anymore.
I actually have never really had to.
Yes, you've had bad instances with police officers.
Well, I've had
When
bad
you were
police
when
officers.
you were driving around in your car that was painted red and green.
Red, white, and green.
Red, white, and green.
Yes.
You had lots of problems.
I did actually have lots of problems.
For those of you who don't clearly understand what I'm talking about, the Mexican flag's colors are red, white, and green.
And this was years ago, but I got pulled over on a regular basis, and they would walk up to the car and be like, "Oh, you're white with a red fro. That's that you're not Mexican." I'm like, "No, I'm not."
Actually, I am. I escaped.
Ta-da! ¿Por qué no las dos?
I actually used to get pulled over all the time in my minivan.
Yeah.
So
You actually got pulled over.
I had a
all the time.
minivan where if you've ever driven a Dodge minivan from the late 90s, you will understand what I'm talking about with this. In the fun situation of random parts of the car stopping working.
Right.
They just would randomly stop working. I think it was an electrical issue. Minivans are brilliantly designed vehicles, but they had little tiny minor issues.
Yeah,
it didn't really affect
minor flaws.
the
and such.
functionality of the car, but you had to live with them. And so one of the ones that I had to live with was the back window, which they had these vent windows, which were pretty cool actually for airflow.
If they worked.
When they worked. They worked really well. It had broken.
The attachment to the
attachment
window.
to the window had broken before I bought the vehicle, and they had put it back on at an angle, and so the window was stuck out.
Yeah.
And so I had duct tape all over it to keep my car from freezing, because it gets cold here in the wintertime because we're 5,000 plus feet up.
Yeah.
And I would regularly get pulled over. And the cop, every single time, the cop would walk up to the car and be like, "Oh, you're a white guy with a big red beard. You're not what I was thinking."
Yeah, every time. So.
And I even had some stupid cops pull me over.
And but
that
as
asked very dumb questions of me.
Right. So anyway, what I was saying was I had a conversation with the police officer. I told him about the podcast, and he goes, "All right, you're going to talk about this on your podcast on Monday, because this is Friday night." And I said, "Oh, most definitely." So thank you to that police officer for out there doing your job and protecting and serving. We appreciate it.
Indeed.
And to all of our first responders and everybody out there, we hope that you always stay safe. Keep a good eye out. And remember, not everybody is a criminal.
That's true.
As a matter of fact, there's a lot more of us that are on your side than you think.
And with that being said, this is Pod Bros, a production of Sound Bros Productions.
Correct. So that means we're
on iTunes.
Are we at the end?
We're at the end.
We're at the end. All right. So we're on iTunes. We're on Podbean.
We have a Facebook page.
On the Facebook page.
Drop us a like.
Soon to be on Spotify, Google
Share us
Play,
a like.
and
Drop us a friend.
YouTube. Yeah, drop us a friend.
And share us a like.
Oh, yeah, I like that. Share with your friends. We always like new people.
Like your friends.
And share them with other... Wait, what? I'm lost. So remember.
If you're not learning, you're dying.
So stay alive.